Hello, I'm the Media Wiz, cause one art.
Hello, Wiz.
Hey, Austin.
I see you've completed the whole list of requests I've had for your show, except for one. Inspector Gadget 2.
Oh yeah, that's right, we reviewed the first movie last year. Well, what if I refuse?
Then the bottle rocket I rigged will blow you up.
Okay then, looks like we're doing the crossover.
Alrighty then. Good evening, YouTube. Austin Trich coming at you with a movie review.
Let's go! Walt Disney Pictures presents an all-new motion picture. Inspect the unexpected.
Inspector Gadget.
Disney's Inspector Gadget 2.
So we open with a really annoying and very cheap looking intro to the original Inspector Gadget song, which I'm amazed they didn't have enough budget to recreate the original animated scene, but hey, let's not judge on that. So now we open to Charterville with Inspector Gadget, this time played by French Stewart, patrolling the streets in search for ne'er-do-wells. That is, if there were any left.
And he's patrolling the streets, and he arrests an old lady who was going at least just not even an entire mile over the speed limit.
So after that incredible chase scene, Inspector Gadget finally arrests the perp. Turns out it's an Adam Sandler character. By that I mean an old lady. And it also turns out, guess what? It was Chief Quimby's mother.
The reason Gadget arrested this poor old lady is because there's really no one else to arrest in the town. Because ever since they arrested Dr. Claw, all the crime rate has been going down. You find out Claw is arrested in this huge maximum facility prison, and of course, what do you know, Claw escapes. He digs his way out. And so he sets up shop at this like old abandoned bowling alley. He gets two bumbling buffoon minions, who I'm just going to describe as pretty much what would happen to Bulk and Skull from Power Rangers if they grew up. They, like, no joke, they pretty much are Bulk and Skull. Like, they even have goofy music every time you see them. They're pretty much adult versions of Bulk and Skull. So, of course, Claw's now on the streets. He's wreaking havoc. He has some kind of evil plan, which we'll get to later. So, but the agency decides, since Gadget's going on the fritz, that's what they set up at the beginning. He's apparently getting a lot of bugs and stuff. Eventually, they decide that we're gonna make a second Inspector Gadget. This one's not going to be a cyborg. It's not going to be half human, half robot. This one's going to be full-on robot.
So yes, this is Gadget 2, or G2 as they call it. She's supposed to be some advanced version of him.
Right off the bat, they set up a love story, and you know immediately that it's going to be paid off at the very end. Which, I'll give the movie this. They have some decent chemistry. Although, this is one of those sequels, it's just like the Alvin and the Chipmunks movies, where it's one of I noticed that this is a pattern with bad kids movie sequels. They always have to have, like the first movie, the main character hooks up with the girlfriend, like the love interest they set up. The second movie, they're just not even together. Like, not even kids movies. They did that in Ted 2. And a lot of things you'll notice, like, in this movie are very different. The different cast, like there's a new chick playing Penny. Gadget, instead of being played by Matthew Broderick, this time is played by French Stewart, who, I will say this, like, as much as I didn't hate Matthew Broderick in the first movie as Gadget, like, this French Stewart I think is a little better for the part. But the one thing that kept bugging me, and this is just a thing I noticed with French Stewart, his constant squinting. Like, that's apparent in this movie. He's always squinting, and it's hilarious. Looks like he's in a squint-off with James Franco and his brother, Dave Franco. He's making failed sweets for Penny, and Penny, of course, being way smarter, just like, again, like the cartoon, and crap, like the first movie. She figures out, you know, Claw's obviously behind this evil plan that's going on throughout the town. A lot of crimes going on, of course, you know it's going to be Claw. So, Gadget decides he needs to get some intel about Claw, so where does he go? He goes to a bar called The Blue Monkey, which... 5 of you are probably going to get this reference, but as soon as I said Blue Monkey, I immediately got flashbacks to Looney Tunes Back in Action, for anyone that gets that reference.
20 points!
So of course, G2 shows up, takes out all of the baddies in the bar, which, by the way, like, they even threatened to kill Gadget, which just made me flash back to Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Like, that's what that scene reminded me of.
I say we stop him! Yeah! Then we tattoo him! Yeah! Then we hang him! Yeah! And then we kill him! Yeah!
So yeah, they demote Gadget and they officially decide to make him a janitor.
Really? Gadget's the janitor now? I mean, you couldn't trust him as a cop, but now you trust him to clean your toilets?
He decides to do some detective work at the Science Institute, and that's where the bumbling goons, the bumbling adult Bulk and Skull, need to get some of the parts for the machine for Claw. And what they do is they take a photo with Gadget, and it apparently like installs a bug in Gadget that like so Claw can now control him. There is a part like this. Like just as a fast food junkie, this kind of irritated me. Okay, so Gadget's at this museum's food court. He has a packet of fries with the McDonald's logo. He has a cup full of Coke with the McDonald's logo. And then what is he does he have a Big Mac? No, he has a hot dog. They could get McDonald's fries and a cup of Coke with the McDonald's logo, but they couldn't get a Big Mac in there? Wow. So Gadget eventually gets a job working as a valet for this huge event they're having in town. Everyone is there, and of course, you know, Claw and his henchmen are going to go steal. They were going to go steal the ruby. That's what the ruby. They were going to steal the ruby, which was the last thing for their evil plan. So they steal the ruby. They go in disguised as like jazz band members. So what they do, they pretty much pull a '60s Batman and unleash laughing gas, which, as you guess, pretty much makes everyone laugh instead of knocking them out. They steal the ruby. Yeah, they kidnap Penny. That was a thing that happened. Of course, as soon as everyone comes out, you know, they fire. Well, no, they don't fire Gadget. Oh yeah, they decide to shut down G2 because she failed to apprehend Claw and his guys. So they shut her down. Gadget, of course, feels bad because he sees that she was a really good detective. Of course, he reactivates her, and they finally decide to spark up a romantic relationship. I mean, like, okay, him being in love with her, that makes sense, because, like, as soon as he lays eyes on her, he has this whole fantasy about, you know, being her hero. But, I don't know, it felt a little contrived. Like, you know, she immediately has feelings for him. Like, it doesn't make sense. She's a robot. She's not supposed to have feelings. Like, I mean, okay, Wall-E, that makes sense, because, you know, Wall-E was the first robot that pretty much inspired robots to have feelings. Other robot characters, like C-3PO, R2-D2, you know, they have personalities. She was built to not have emotions. And this was weird. She cries a tear. She cries a human tear. That just so creepy. It's like one of those like really unintentionally creepy things. Pretty much he uses this giant laser to activate a satellite which bounces back and freezes all of time. He even says a line, not even kidding, he says straight up, well, because okay, the reason they're freezing everything is because he wants to go and rob this bank that has like 1 million gold bars. And as soon as they freeze time, they get past the guards, they're able to rob this huge bank. The first thing Claw says, he's like, I can rob any bank in this city. I can rob any bank anywhere. I have all the time in the world. Oh my god, that gave me a lot of flashbacks to the last movie I reviewed on this show. They officially decide, hey, we need to save everybody. So they gear up, they go out, they fight crime, they save Penny from... This was kind of an elaborate trap. They set up Penny to like a cart that's strapped with bombs, and it's this was funny. This is one of those things where like he's trying to like untie her while bombs tick, like a time bomb with like a little like mini clock on it's going down. And of course, like there's like only 2 seconds left, and like it takes more than 2 seconds to get her untied, and it's just like, wow, like it's one of those things. It's unintentionally funny. And then there's an explosion, and it was obviously like early 2000s green screen explosion. Like it was on par with the explosion from the Grinch movie. So they stop Claw's van by Gadget saying, "Go, go, Gadget, bubblegum," and a huge like wad of like chewed up bubblegum lands on the street, and it's of course a giant blob of just chewed bubblegum, and the van gets stuck on it. Like, it was so, like, I mean, like, it fit with the cartoon. It kind of, like, as dumb as it was, it makes sense. Like, so I can't fault it for that, because this movie, just like the first one, it's a live-action cartoon. They're going with how insane the entire thing is. So, yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, Claw gets away. They rest up the minions, but they don't go after Claw. I don't know why. They deactivate the machine. Oh, which by the way, they're like, there's only one way to turn off the machine. Think, what would his password be? Well, we gotta think like Claw. Crime pays. That's the password. And I'm like, wow, Claw, you really suck at setting passwords. Clearly, someone did not listen to Grade A Under A.
Okay, well then the only possibility left must be baby 123.
So Gadget is officially put back on the team. Everyone is happy with each other. And they, oh, by the way, Gadget and G2 share a kiss, which apparently a kiss between those two sets off fireworks. Yeah, which to me, they did that in the first movie. I remember that now. That kind of makes sense. I get that. Oh, and then it ends with a gag. Gadget's firework lands at the feet of the chief and the mayor. Again, two different actors, not the same as the first one.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this. None of the original characters from the movie return. Nope, not the Doctor, not anyone else, not even Brain, if you believe it or not. My goodness, like, the only person I think returns is the mayor, but I didn't really care about her character to begin with. So why is she always taking front and center of this? She was never like that in the cartoon or the original movie.
And I love it because the firework goes off, and of course it's that cartoonish. They're covered in soot and like their hair's all blown up, and they just go Gadget, and then it does like the circle wipe in, and then the movie's over.
Okay, and that was Inspector Gadget 2, and quite honestly, it's okay.
So me personally, I did not hate this movie, but I mean I wasn't looking forward to it, but I had a decent time. I wouldn't say, honestly, I think the first one's better, and here's my reasons why. The first one I found immensely more entertaining in its insanity, but this one, like, a lot of people say, oh, this one captures the cartoon more. And even though I think the first one kind of captured that inner zany cartooniness as much as this one does, I totally see where people are coming from. But again, I personally kind of think that the first one the first movie was just as zany as this movie was. Like, all the cartoon slapstick that was in this movie was just like it was in the first one. Me personally, though, that, I don't know, But I don't know. Like, so I don't know how to feel about this movie. I don't hate it. I mean, I'm mixed on this movie personally. Like, I don't think I would say watch it at least once. Like, I'm definitely recommending you check it out. But I mean, I guess it all depends on, like, if you hated the first one and you want to see the first one more like the cartoon, I'd say watch this. But other than that, I don't know why you want to watch it. Unless you, like, I don't know, just morbid curiosity, check it out. Like, if you don't like it, at least you watched it. If you don't want to watch it, I wouldn't fault you for it. Although I can easily say this, Claw, you definitely pulled off the whole freezing time and, taking over the world with some kind of time angle than the Timekeeper. Seriously, that guy was not a villain.
Well, I hope you guys liked the review. I'm Austin Trench, signing off.
I'm the Media Wiz, because one art form wasn't enough. And I was joined by Austin Trench. Thank you for requesting all this stuff, Austin. And I was very happy to do this crossover with you.
Is anybody even paying attention to me? Woo! Yeah! This sucks! Boy, boy! Say goodbye to your kneecaps, chucklehead!